Welcome back to Andertons TV, everybody. I am going solo today. I'm riding solo. Valeton, lovely people at Valeton, have introduced their first FRFR, so full range flat response powered speaker. It's on the floor next to me here. Many guitarists now are electing to use a speaker like this to use with their digital modeling devices, where all the speaker emulation is happening in the digital device, and then the powered speaker just needs to be a flat response speaker. Valeton, a favourite of mine in terms of all the effects, so I'm interested to hear what this sounds like. It's highly affordable, £229 for a 1,300 watt 110 with a 1-inch high frequency driver as well. The 1,300 watt is its peak rating, so it in the manual it gives it kind of 3 ratings, which is 325 rated, 650 program, 1,300 peak. So I mean, pretty loud, right? I thought for this video I would combine this. I use a Valeton GP-200 Junior as well as a little Valeton Looper and a Thorpe Peacekeeper for my office jams that you might hear me playing on Instagram. And then I run this through a little pair of desktop speakers in my office, little, you know, like ones that you would run computers through. So I've got that rig on the floor here. I thought I'd show you that. We've got the Valeton here, and you're going to hear a mix really of, sometimes you're going to hear my GP-200 going straight into our interface. Sometimes you're going to hear it mic'd up with this microphone here in front of it. Miking an FRFR cab isn't easy. If you're close miking a normal guitar speaker, you find a sweet spot on the speaker, you put a mic in front of it, and away you go. Because obviously the FRFR cab has a tweeter over here and a speaker over here, and it's very much about the room sound, it is harder to mic up and give you an accurate idea of what it sounds like. But anyway, we will do our best. So I'm going to start off typically doing a loop. Maybe I put a bass line over it. I just turn the tone control down on my guitar, use the same patch. Sounds pretty good so far. And then maybe I'll change to a different patch, or actually on this one I think I've just got an overdrive pedal that I can kick in over the top here. I've got the Thorpe Peacekeeper, which is pretty low drive, but I like to add it in just to give me a bit of fatness. Essentially my little office setup. Let's go maybe through it one at a time. So why do I like the GP-200? I'm using the Junior entirely because when we had some samples sent over from Valeton way back when, this one ended up being a spare one. I probably, if I was a paying customer like you guys, I probably would get the full fat GP-200, more buttons, slightly easier to use, a little bit more expensive. It comes in at $269. The Junior is the same basic operating system but with less buttons, so sometimes to access the features you want, you've got to remember to sort of, you know, hit a combination of buttons or 2 buttons together, stuff like that. So if you can afford it, buy the GP-200. But I really like, you know, here is one of the reasons I really like this. So that this is the out the box preset number 1. I've set this up. I probably have tweaked the EQ a little bit, but I don't recall. I haven't changed the amp setting or anything. I've set the control pedal to add, I think, some compression and some delay. I can go through different patches. I've got this second patch here with an octave on it, which I'll sometimes use as a bass line, but this is a clean sound that I like a lot. Most of these, again, are straight out the box presets that I've maybe tweaked a little bit, but here's a nice clean sound. And then again, often I've just used the control button to put a little bit of gain. Or again, sometimes I'll use the Thorpe. I mean, this is crazy, right? The Thorpe Peacekeeper's more expensive than the GP-200, so this gives you some idea of the difference between buying sort of, you know, boutique guitar pedals like the Thorpe and, you know, mass-produced multi-effects units like the Valeton. They're crazy good value, you know. But I do think the Thorpe, using that as the drive into the Valeton, does smooth out the sound a little bit, gives it a slightly more natural feel. But I mean, again, it's a luxury rather than an essential. Again, I could go through lots of patches on here. Another one of my favorite is another clean sound here. I think this is the one I used for the original loop. I really like that. Again, that's one I've probably tweaked around with. I can put the Thorpe on top if I want to. I'm really not loud in this room, so that the Valeton here, 100% you could use this at home if you'd rather use that instead of your little desktop speakers or, in your studio setup, and it'll absolutely be loud enough to go and do, you know, band jams and little gigs and stuff like that. Of course, the FRFR cabs are completely sort of brand interchangeable, so you could use the Valeton with a different brand of multi-effects unit, or you could use the Valeton multi-effects and a different brand of FRFR cab. It's up to you. Now, there are drums and a looper in the GP-200, so you don't have to have this separate looper. But one of the things that's better on the standalone Valeton loopers is the drum sounds are better, the number of drum tracks is more, and you get this two-loop thing. Now let me see if I can show you how the two-loop thing works. I'll have done this again on my Instagram channel recently, but the idea of two loops is I can do like a verse chorus thing. So let me see if I can, I'll set the drums off again. What should we play? So let's say that's my verse. And we want to do a second loop. So there's my second loop going around now. And I can now toggle between those two loops and play lead guitar over the top if I want to. Back to the first loop. You get the idea? So you can't do that dual loopy thing in the GP-200. You have to have the separate VLP-200 to do that. But look, I mean, I guess I wanted to sort of focus on this little Valeton FRFR Cab because that's the new thing. Everything else about this video was just giving you an insight as to what I use in my office. I mean, again, let's 2, 3... The Valeton Looper and the Valeton GP-200 Junior together is probably only 300 quid, 320 quid maybe. If you upgraded to the full GP-200 and you bought the Looper separately, you'd get close to 400 quid. So super affordable. The FRFR Cab, 220 quid. It has a couple of features on the back. It's probably easier just to show you a screenshot of the back now. But you can see you've got a left and right input. So I'm running left and right out of the GP-200 into here, but you could absolutely just have two separate instruments going in there. You and your bass player or whatever could mess around. You could put a microphone in it if you wanted to. You can sum those two outputs into a single output if you want to then run that into a bigger PA or something else to record it. And then it has two controls on the back, or three controls, sorry. One is a bass lift. I don't have that switched on at the moment, but sometimes if the bigger the room you get in, perhaps the more overwhelming the bass becomes. There's just a simple button on the back to just contour the bass off. And then there's the same for the mid-range. So again, you can elect to have a slightly more scooped sound, or you can have a flatter sound. I'm using the flatter sound. And the other switch on the back is a ground lift. So if you're getting earth hum issues in your setup, you can switch that and it'll get rid of it. There's a little what's called a top hat underneath, so a little hole underneath it here, so you can put it on a speaker stand if you want to, or as you can see from the way I'm using it on the floor, it has like a fold back idea, so you can have it set flat like that, or you can have it back like that. Nice handle on the top. It's not heavy. Spec around size and weight and everything will be on our website if you follow the links below. But look, that, ladies and gents, is my quick, what I use in my office. I've been using this rig for, actually the Thorpe Peacekeeper is probably the newest one. I've had that for maybe 3 or 4 months. But the Looper and the Valeton GP-200 coming up for over a year, I would have thought, and I've used it loads and I'm pretty happy with it. So there you are. Thank you for watching. Pete will be back soon, probably tomorrow. So yes, don't panic. See you later. Au revoir.